Mais j'ai fait des traductions en créole. So thank you to be here. Today we speak about the Jamaican Renaissance. You know, Jamaica, for 17th centuries, 18th centuries, 19th centuries, was the rum. And the price of the Jamaican rum was about 40% higher. Why Jamaican rum was so famous? Because they were the first to introduce the double distillation. So they started already in the 17th centuries to make the double distillation. All the other islands did only a single distillation. And then, about in 1750, the northwest part of Jamaica, we have a picture of Jamaica. No, don't show everything. And okay, in this area was developed a unique technique that when I took Richard Seal from Foursquare and Gianni Vittorio Capovilla from Italy, one of the two best master distillers in the world, when they saw the technique of Trelawney rums, they were astonished. How the humans could, in an era before Pasteur, before the chemistry, before the physics, before the science, how they were able to create a so sophisticated techniques to make the rum. Because in this region, only in that region of Jamaica, mainly in Trelawney, they create the continental flavored rum that today we call high ester, but is not the right word, but is continental flavored. They create some rums with an aromatic profile incredible. Today, among us, we have a very important person that is Andrew Hussey, the owner of Hampden. Applaudissements à l'italien, s'il vous plaît. Vous êtes encore un peu froid. So, in 1753, started Hampden, and in that period, what they understood in that region, that ethanol is alcohol, plus acids equal ester. The development of esters come when acid meet the ethanol. So what they start to do, they start to use the dander, that are the vinasse, the rest of the previous distillation, in fermentation. Or they were so smart, they start to produce a sugar cane, a rum cane vinegar, and they add to fermentation. And this creates this fantastic continental flavored, very high ester, and so you can use a very small quantities to change completely the profile of a rum. I tell you a story. How long I have to speak? 30 minutes. Now, in 2019, this night I can't speak too much. So, the Jamaican rum was the most famous rum in the world. And was mainly only pot still, double pot still, batch distillation. And still, until now, is the island with more pot still in the world. Because we have only a multi-column at Clarendon. Many people think that Monimask is not so great, but Monimask, as the Monimask brand, is a blend between the column and the pot still, but they have pot still And Monimask pot still produce very, very, very good rums. And then we have a column also in Appleton. If not, we have only pot still, the fantastic Adams pot still, double retort pot still. This is one of Hampden, is the Forsyth probably. Andrew is Forsyth. Now, Andrew bought 2 new Forsyth, so Hampden have 6 pot still. Have a 3 Forsyth, 1 John Doerr, 1 TNT from South Africa, and 1 Vendôme. In the next year, we have already started to do this. Now we put in barrels the different rum coming from different stills, and in few years, we will have a Hampden Vendôme, a Hampden Forsyth, and so and so. Then you have Worthy Park. Worthy Park have only 1 pot still. As Hampden, they have no columns, and this is also a Forsyth, very, very nice. And every distillery produce different marks. What is the marks? The marks is this one. This one, STR, is a mark. Many years ago, there were no bottles. The rum was sold in barrels or in bulk to the blenders, to the European blenders. So the name was a PM, was Portmorant, HLCF, and the blenders recognize the rum that they will use from the mark on the barrel, you know. So the distillery produced, still until now, many different style of rums, the same distillery, you understand? So Hampden has about 10 different marks. Appleton have also 15. And Appleton until now, you could not visit, I have never visited the fermentation house of Appleton. And I work with them, I go with Joyce Pence, and they don't want the name of the marks on the labels, because this was a part of a secret of Jamaican rum. And now that we are in the renaissance of rum, people start to understand that there is rum mainstream for Cuba Libre, Mojito. We are waiting the new Mojito probably. The competitors are the vodka and gin. Then you have the flavored rums, I mean the rum with some sugar that will be the mainstream of a sipping rum. But then you have the artisanal rum that could be pure single rum, 100% pot still, Colon Creole, rum agricole. So all this world is beside the single malts now. As you know, 1st September, we have rum auctioneer. For first time, Whisky Auctioneer, the biggest auction site in the world, in the web, understood that was the moment to do rum auctioneer. 10 years ago, nobody can think that there will be a rum auctioneer. In the first 100 top ranking, 73 were Velier co-bottlings. Excuse me, but it's a good result. So you have also the pot still Long Pond. These are some of the Long Pond. Have a 6 pot still, but now working only, I think, 2. But Long Pond is also only pot stills, no column. And Long Pond is close to, is in Trelawney region. And then we have the Monimask. These are the Monimask still that are in the southwest part of Jamaica. And then you have Appleton. So is plenty of double retort pot still. They don't make a double distillation, but in only one run, you can cut the head and the tails. And when I asked to Richard Seal why the single malt have not used the same system, they make double distillation, told me that time the colonial people was richer and these still were more expensive. I don't know if it's true or not true. I think yes. So we have all these stills, and now that we are in the moment where rum is lived as a great artisanal spirit, this richness of Jamaica make the new renaissance of Jamaica. These are the 4 different styles, the historical 4 different styles. When we speak about Jamaican rum, could be a little bit to a simplification. In the history, there were the common cleans, was the rum for Jamaican people, esters between 80, 150 grams hectoliter pure alcohol, LPA. Then the Westmoreland rum, the Plummer style and Wedderburn style, that had ester between 150, 200 and 200, 300. Plumbers and Wedderburn is like to say Jeep, Frigidaire. Plummer was a person, and he asked for a special type of rum. And then his rum, his mark, became a style. Understand? And the same Wedderburn. And then the German or continental flavored rum that arrived to 1,600 grams of ester, only ester, because then you have the other congeners, the other non-alcohol substance volatile. And then this is the category that now is finished, because the high ester rum, where I am sorry that I have no many time, but the high ester rum born when the German people put a big duty on the Jamaican rum, because to make the Verschnitt. Verschnitt was the fantasy rum, was made with potato, cereal, alcohol, a small part of Triloni rum, some caramel became a rum, because very powerful. So they put a very high duty to the Jamaican rum. So was about 1889, I think. So in that time started the chemistry, and a man named Cousins went to Hampden and invented the techniques to, very secret until now, to create rums with 2,400 esters. So you could send less quantity, pay less duties to Germany. But the lobby, already that time, there were lobbies in 1932. The lobbies, European lobbies say, no, stop. Jamaica can export maximum 1,600. So now the high ester practically doesn't exist anymore. Now we taste. The first you taste is Monimask 2010. Why I put this rum first? You see there is the mark. The mark is MBS. MBS is a mark, is the name on the barrel, and is one of a style of Monimask. But this is from the column. So I would like to show you, this is a column rum, but aged 9 years at the distillery. So it's quite aged. You have to think that 9 years old is already aged. It's not a young girl or a young guy. You understand? So this is from column. Is at 62%. I found when I tasted, and you see sometimes also a spirit from a column, from a multi-column, with a good aging could become interesting. I put also this rum to show I prefer the pot still, the agricole rum, the single blended, but sometimes you can find also quite a good rum from the column. But in this case, it's more important the aging. The second one, I go fast, excuse me, is the Worthy Park 2007 WPL. The mark is WPL, means Worthy Park Light. So 2007 was bottled in 2017, so was 10 years old when it was bottled, and 59%. In beginning, Worthy Park, I asked to Worthy Park to use the name Worthy Park. They told me no, it's a trademark. I say, okay, I call Foresight, distill that. But after 2 years, they saw the success that this release gave to his reputation of a brand. Say, Luca, please, could you use the name Worthy Park? So now we are the only company, there is another one in the US, Head Hamilton, that can use the name Worthy Park. And we bottle this co-bottling in Jamaica because I am for the truth. So we send all the bottles to Jamaica, all the labels, and then they come back. So it costs a little bit more, understand why. So Worthy Park is a very, very hot distillery. Many people, probably Worthy Park make the rum more single malt, we can say, less funky, especially in this version WPL. They produce also WPM and WPE, but the stock is mainly, now they have 9,000 barrels, only pot still, 100% pure single rum. But Worthy Park is the oldest company in the world, because Worthy Park started in 1670. Mount Gay says 1705. They started 1670, and they continue until now, the sugar factory. But in 1962, when Jamaica became independent, that time there were a big offer of rum and not a lot of demand. So government give money to close the distillery. And Worthy Park closed from 1962 to 2005. In 2005, they restarted to distill. But Worthy Park Sugar Estate was still working since 1670. And now the Clark's family is 101 year, the same family owned Worthy Park. So my generation, your generation, our generation, we didn't know Worthy Park because 62, 2005, we didn't know. I called Worthy Park the day after the first distillation 2005, when nobody knows Worthy Park. And I started to say, please give me some barrels. Say, well, there's fresh rum. Wait. Now we have Worthy Park. The third one is a world premiere. And we have also Andrew here for this reason, because you are the first that can taste the Hampton Great House. You are the first person in Europe that drink this edition, that is the distillery edition. So this product, if you have a grandmother going to Montego Bay in Jamaica with the cries, or cousins, tell, please go to Trelawney, to Hampden to buy a bottle, because normally the Hampden, say that we are the Macallan of rum, the Hampden Great House, is sold at the distillery, and then we import a small quantity for events like Whisky Live or some other fair. So in Europe arrive a small quantity. The blend is different. It's a little bit more high ester, a little bit more than the standard version, and is the official bottling, as you say. So you are the first to drink. It's 59%. And the last one, but it's not the last one, because I have a surprise for you. If you make me hot, depends. We will see. The last one is a very old Long Pond, 2007. So we are 12 tropical years and 63%. And TECA is in the beginning 1,200. This is when the rum is fresh. Now the esters are higher. started at 1200. No, excuse me. No, yeah, I'm right. Yes, yes, yes. So this rum is a really very, very high ester. It's something normally these continental flavored people say are not for aging, are quintessence to put in a confectionery, Chanel, but they have a personality. Are very sipping. You have to taste a small drop, but are very unique and is nice anyway to taste everything, no? And they exist. So you have rum from 4 distilleries. I can tell you informally that in March I had only one pot still that I didn't make love, and was Appleton. And now, I tell you, in March, it will be something very unique in the rum world. Appleton have never bottled a vintage. So it will be an Appleton vintage. Appleton have never bottled a 100% pot still. It will be a 100% pot still. And Appleton have never bottled outside their bottles. And in this case, it will be bottled in our bottles. It will be an official bottling of 3,000 bottles in the Caroni bottles, vintage, 100% pot still. So this will be a world premiere, something incredible that I think will be interested a lot of people. But you make me hot to have a surprise, yes or not? Yes! More? Yes! Okay, I make a surprise. Okay. I have, where is? Here. This, I don't know when I will release. I am studying a label here. There is a mock-up. I don't know, but this is, you are the first in the world to taste. And give me a glass. Francesco, if you like to help me. Or Benny. This will be my, the rum, the oldest rum Velier have bottled. Don't show the label. This is a Jamaican rum, 1984. So will be 35 or to everyone. Excuse me, I thought 35 or 36 years old. And if you understand what means a distillery, a Caribbean aging, is really a very, very, very old rum. But when you drink a very, very old rum, you have not to think to meet Miss Universe or a young lady or a young teacher. When you drink a rum so aged, you are meeting Teresa of Calcutta. You are meeting your grandmother. You have understand 35 years is in a certain way a quintessence, a concentration. So you can find, if you want a young lady, you drink a white rum. If you want a woman or a man 30 years old, you drink 9 years old rum. Tropical aging, distillery aging. When you drink so old rums, it's like to a souvenir. You have not to find the perfumes. It's normal that after 35 years, wood is very, like my, I don't know in English the name of these things, you know, but it's an emotion. And you have also to think that somebody have waited one generation before take the money of this cask. And 35 years, you have lost 95%. If you had 100 barrels, you have 5 barrels, you understand? It's not like single malt. is a 67%. It's something when I tasted different barrels. I tasted some barrels and I find two of these barrels something that gave me an emotion a little bit like Skeldon 78. Was long time that I had to say, what is this? And I am happy that you can taste. You are the first in the world. Probably the bottle will be very, 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 very expensive because also if I don't make profit, I paid already a great price. But in 10 years, when you say, but costed only 1,000 euros, is nothing. 35 years old. Have you, everybody? Gancio cielo, glass on the sky, please. All the glass up. And thank you very much. I hope you like also this product. You are the first to drink this. Thank you very much. I know that you like rum. I think that you know that I like also rum. And the rum now, thanks also to you, start to be considered in the right category, you know. And this is my great pleasure. And I am also proud to have worked that some rums are now beside the single malts. Thank you very much. Ciao, ciao, everybody.